Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, joined by co-host Jeff.
Oh, what up, Mark? How we doing?
Hey, it's another great day in the House of Draft.
It's December. Can you believe it already?
Merry Christmas to you.
And a Happy New Year.
For sure. Hey, instead of Christmas movies, what's our theme this month?
Oh, the theme? I don't know. Actually, I do know. It's Missing Persons Month here on the pod. We're watching movies about people that have disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and throughout the course of a film, maybe we find out what happened to them. That's what we're doing.
Maybe not.
Does that sound accurate?
I mean, it sounds accurate, sure. Yeah, it's a good description of the theme, I think.
Yep. What we watched this week is The Vanishing from 1993, so you can guess who picked it. Me. It is directed by George Sluizer, or Sluizer? Not sure.
Sluizer?
Slizer?
Slizer?
Slizer sounds good. It stars Jeff Bridges, Nancy Travis, Sandra Bullock, and Keifer Sutherland. It runs for an hour and 49 minutes.
Yeah. And it's appropriate that we select, the theme is Disappearing People Month, is because this movie was hard to find. It's not available to stream anywhere. Like, legitimately, I think. It's rare when Amazon says, "Hey, bitch, you ain't watching this."
That's the problem with, like, video rights and stuff. It's like, this is one of those times where it's like, this is why piracy is a thing, because you won't let us pay money for it.
Right. And it's kind of, because, like, you think 1993, I mean, it's, good 30 years ago, but it's also got, big names in it. I mean, Jeff Bridges, Keifer Sutherland, Sandra Bullock, those are all
I
big.
think Sandra Bullock's not really a big name yet.
Not yet, but, like, I'm talking about, like, now,
Well, yes,
and
now.
I understand what you're saying about the streaming rights. I don't remember who produced what company produced this film, but
well, it's just kind of one of those things too. There could be a song on this where they don't want to have to pay certain royalties or whatever. It's just weird.
Yeah. So why did you pick this one?
Because let me say one thing real quick. This is Speed comes out the next year, and Speed is what, in my opinion, makes Sandra Bullock a household name. Although Demolition Man comes out between that, so she's on the brink, I think.
And had The Net already come out, or
Net? No, The Net was a few years later.
Okay.
You've seen The Net?
I mean, it's been a long time, but yes.
I love The Net. I love movies where the technology is wrong, and they try to present it as really cool. The Net's really good at that. But I chose this movie because I actually saw this in theaters. I would have been about 13 at the time, and I remember going, and I remember my stepdad was there, who's just a real log of shit, that guy. But I remember seeing it in cinemas and thinking it was pretty good. And I haven't seen it in ages, so I'm like, let's open up this can of memories and see what we find.
I'm here to this guy George Sluizer.
Yeah.
Sluizer, whatever. So I'm pretty sure that this Vanishing is a remake.
Did I lose you?
No, can you hear me?
It is. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Of a Norwegian film?
So I took care of this for you too.
Okay, good.
Now, they speak French in the movie a bit. I'm not sure. It is Scandinavian in nature, but it is a remake of the movie The Vanishing, originally called Sporloose, which is Scandinavian for something, and it's based on the book called Golden Egg. I took it upon myself to watch the remake this week.
Oh, good.
And it is very similar, but also there's some major differences. And
Is
we'll
the
get
original
into those.
okay? So I'm gonna rain on your parade here,
You
because
didn't like this.
I actually don't know how you actually feel about this film this go around, but this was trash, bro.
Okay, I want you to expound on that because
So like everything is just surface level. There's no character development here. There like the film touches on certain things, especially with Jeff Bridges' character. He's obviously a psychopath. And Keifer Sutherland, who is obviously going crazy. And it just kind of glosses over both of those things. It touches on just very, surface level ideas for both characters. And I was like, why didn't we? This is almost a 2-hour film. Let's expound on what about this person, Sandra Bullock, who goes missing early in the film, and Keifer Sutherland spends three years searching for her. What about her? Because like in the beginning, we just see a glimpse of their relationship, but it's kind of volatile. It didn't really strike me as this guy like is in love with this woman, and it didn't really strike me that she really reciprocated the feelings that he had or may have had for her. And so I didn't understand the motivation. And like in the script and Keifer Sutherland's character kind of touch on it later on in the movie. He's just like, when he's telling his new girlfriend, he's like, if I could just go back.
So I married an axe murderer.
Oh yeah.
That's the main woman in that movie.
But he kind of tells her, he's like, you know what? I just want to know what happened.
Right.
Like I just want to, if I could go back, I would, just so I can know what happened. And like he's delusional.
He is traumatized.
Right. Okay. In 1993, people didn't care about trauma.
Doesn't matter. Still was traumatized.
No, but I'm saying like the film doesn't care to explain any of that to us, and we're just left to just believe that he's so in love with the thought of this person that he'll go to the ends of the earth to find out what happened to her.
That's what he gets into. He's not in love with her.
Right.
He's in love with the new girl in his life, and
which I never got the hint of that either. Like he never really, the movie never goes into like Keifer Sutherland really loves this diner waitress. They just kind of speed through.
They jump ahead. So yeah, there's a good point to talk about the difference here with the old film, because this is really where things kind of split off on the original. So, like you said, this is a remake, but it's also remade by George Sluizer, right? So he directed both of these films. So there's another movie called Funny Games, which was written and directed by the same guy, and he remade it for American audiences with English. And this original one, I think maybe sticks closer to the book. I haven't read the book, so I don't know about that. But I will say I think the relationship between who serves as Keifer Sutherland's character and the woman who goes missing is better. I think it's mostly just they had more chemistry and there's something there. And they took a little longer kind of getting to the vanishing.
Right.
That being said, the girlfriend that comes along later is barely in the remake. She's in like 2 scenes, and it's like, you need to get over her. And he's like, I can't. And then she leaves. That whole, the end sequence of this movie, of the modern one, isn't in the original at all. As a matter of fact, the lead character dies at the end of the original. You know how he buries Keifer Sutherland in this movie?
Yeah.
In the original, that guy, he never gets out of the box. That's how the movie ends. It ends with him getting buried, and then it cuts to the psycho guy with his family.
I could have gotten behind that in this film, just simply because, like, I really I really wanted more Jeff Bridges. I mean, Jeff Bridges he's a great actor, and here he does a lot with very little as far as the script goes.
Man, I just have a hard time agreeing with some of the things you're saying. I don't think he has very little to work with. I think being this sort of psycho, they show him with his family trying to be a loving dad. They show him doing all his planning and setting up. They show him doing all his psychotic shit with Keifer Sutherland, and I think he has a lot to work with.
Well, it never the movie the script and then the actual movie never his motivations aren't clear. And
his motivations are weird.
Well, right. And
I wouldn't say they're not clear, but they're weird. Like his motivation is my daughter once saw me save a kid, right. And now to prove that I'm a hero, I have to do the most evil thing I can think of.
Right, and I'm fine with that.
Oh, that you're fine with? Okay.
No, I'm fine with that. It's because that's psychotic, right?
Yeah.
And this man is clearly psychotic. However, his motivations for wanting to, I guess, toy with Keifer Sutherland's character.
See, this is one thing I think the movie does better than the other one is, like, Keifer Sutherland puts his posters up the whole time, right? And it's 3 years since Sandra Bullock's gone missing, and there's the scene where, you know, Jeff Bridges says, "Oh, I admire him, you know, the way he keeps looking for her." Well, he passes by one time, and there hasn't been a new set of posters. And in this movie, that sort of becomes the spark that gets him to start contacting Keifer Sutherland, because he doesn't want to be forgotten about. And this is something that happens in real life. BTK, the reason they caught the BTK killer is because after a few years, people stopped talking about him. And he wanted them to talk about him, so he started emailing the cops and shit. And so I thought that was good. I thought they did a good job of establishing that. And the original, he just decides to start toying with him, you know, like he sees him on TV, I guess, and he's like, okay, I can fuck with this guy some. I felt like in this, he needed to have his recognition, and I think they did a good job of that.
Yeah, I could like get behind that idea of, hey, a serial killer wants to remain at the forefront of people's minds and, you know, media and all that. If he had killed more than Sandra Bullock, right?
Well, he's not a serial killer.
Right. Well, so that, like, his motivations aren't clear. And like
so he's not a serial killer, but I think he is still a psychopath, and his excuses are his motivation is he wants to kill something. Let's be honest. Like, that's his motivation. I just want to kill something. And then he comes up with excuses to justify it in his own mind. He's a psychopath.
Yeah, I just, like, I wanted more of Jeff Bridges' character. I cannot stand Keifer Sutherland.
What? What? Okay, now you can't stand him in this movie?
No. Well, yes.
You don't like Keifer Sutherland at all?
Not at all. I don't like him as an actor.
Oh, God, that's what I meant. But yeah, I mean, how else do you interact with him? Has he bought you a cup of coffee or something?
You know, we hang out every third Sunday. But no, I don't like him as an actor. Now I will say the TV show 24, it's right up his alley, is because he doesn't have to do much acting.
Oh my God.
And you know, he's just doing an action sequence after action sequence.
Oh,
anyways,
man.
I just like he's
Keifer Sutherland's is great.
Man,
oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm angry now.
He's a bozo in this movie, man.
He is. I could see if you had said, I don't like this character is annoying, I would understand that, because the character's actions are annoying. They are self-destructive. So I understand why you would feel that way about this character. But I just can't.
I'm not a Keifer stan, okay? I don't.
You don't have to be a stan, but
I mean, who names their kid Keifer, man? That's a bullshit name.
Papa Sutherland, Donald Sutherland does. That's who. After his favorite, yogurt treat, Keifer.
Yeah. Okay. No, I just like. I thought it was really weird at the beginning of the movie when Sutherland and Sandra Bullock are driving in volcano torn Mount St. Helens, and like the movie makes a big deal from this like sweeping cinematic shot of like the side of Mount St. Helens where when the volcano erupted it like shockwave wiped out everything. And then like Sandra Bullock's like, I want to get the fuck out of here. This place sucks. Let's go someplace else.
I did that. I didn't get
like,
that either.
I'm like, wait a minute. We just got a whole like
let's go home, and then she doesn't want to go home, and then they want to go on their vacation. I can understand after they have their fight why you might want to go home. Sure. But then like beforehand, it's just like she just on a whim is like, let's get the fuck out of here.
But like the movie made a big deal about showing them on the side of this mountain, and then the first words out of her mouth, she's like,
let's
nah.
get out of here. And you're like, okay, maybe she doesn't want to be around Mount St. Helens, which was this big disaster and lots of people died. Okay, but then she like looks up what other disasters they can go visit. So I don't know. I can get behind that. Didn't make sense.
So then they have this argument in the car, and then like they're in a tunnel on the base of the mountain or whatever.
Stuff I like. I think this is appropriately dangerous. And feels like a situation you want to be in.
I just like it would like you would think that like them either going up the mountain or coming down the mountain. Keifer would be like, "Hey, bro, we gotta stop for gas."
Well, that's the whole thing. She says stop for gas, and in the movie, the other movie, I should say, they play that up a little more. They make more of a point of her, they show you her saying it, him ignoring her, and then the whole reason he gets kind of pissed off is because he was wrong, right? And she is like, bitch, I told you to get gas. And he's like, fuck, get off my case. And that's why he leaves her while she's looking for the flashlight. So a little bit more of that's fleshed out. I think the runtime on both of these is like within a couple minutes, but they choose to spend their time in different places. And like the original spends a lot more time with like the killer and his family beforehand, and it's told in a different order. So like at the beginning of the movie, you see the kidnapping, and then they show you him preparing up to the point of the kidnapping, and then from there, and in the new one, they do everything chronologically.
Yeah, I mean and I would expect from an Americanized remake, things are done in a different order. And I don't. This is just me kind of talking out my ass, but I think when people in Americans, watch films, they want to be entertained first and then told a story second, and so. In my experience, watching American remakes of foreign films, most directors choose to entertain first and tell story second, and so it doesn't surprise me that things happened in the remake in a different kind of sequence to where. Like Sandra Bullock, like I thought it was clever that Keifer comes back with a can of gas, and she's gone, and you're like, oh, this is when she vanishes,
right? And I couldn't remember because when I saw it in the theater again, I was a teenager, so I thought, I was like, I could have sworn she disappeared at a gas station. It's weird how you forget how, and then she wasn't gone. I was like, oh, right, okay.
I thought it was clever, and then they go to the gas station. And let me tell you, Sandra Bullock does more acting in her chloroform scene by just like muffle screaming than like 95% of the people in this film.
You just were in a mood when you watched this, huh? What happened?
No, I'm just saying, like Sandra Bullock.
Are you okay? Because
I'm fine.
It just feels like
Jeff Bridges he's very good in this. I really love.
I'll be honest. I have some critiques about him. Mostly that have to do with his weird cadence.
I like it because I mean he's weird. Like he's a weird dude.
He is a weird dude. He is on that. That's the thing. Like the killer in the other movie, he's a little more approachable, and this guy is just like I can't see Sandra Bullock getting in that car with that guy. Like he is just creepy to begin with, whereas the other guy is a lot more normal. I would say is the word I would use, but
well, I mean it's he in this film. He makes a convincing case of, hey, he's selling these bracelets or he's on his way somewhere to sell these bracelets and, he needs help. And so get in and we'll just, we'll do everything here in the car. And you see it on her face. She's like, oh, I don't want to get the fuck in. But then she does. And you're like, oh, you dumb bitch. And so you understand, okay, well, her getting in the car, she just died. So, what I didn't like is that we got very little Sandra Bullock in this movie, and I think she's probably 1A or 1B as far as actors go in this film.
Not at the time.
No, I understand, but like old George Sluzier, he's shooting these scenes, and he's like, Sandra, we're gonna go ahead and just kill you off here.
You feel I sometimes wonder if you feel like that these directors just on a whim are like, you know what? No, I'm not putting you in my film anymore. There was a script, and she's not the character. The whole point of the movie is that the character vanishes, and so she's not going to be in the movie as long as other characters.
We could have gotten Keifer Sutherland's character hallucinating over seeing Sandra Bullock at different points. I know he does it that first time where they go back to the gas station, but like I enjoyed that. I enjoyed him actually like reliving this trauma, and like he hallucinates seeing the two of them in this moment, like their last moment, and like I would have enjoyed more of that, is because it would have given credibility to the fact that he is losing his mind over trying to find this woman or find out what happened to her.
I think they do a good job of that, though, when they show him pretending to be on the military reserve so he can go away for a while.
Oh, I just think that's him
research.
That's just him, not telling his current girlfriend what he's doing.
So here's the other thing is like, in the original, current girlfriend is, like I said, barely in the movie, and in the new one, she's integral to the way the movie ends.
Oh yeah,
like she
turns into the main character.
Right, she becomes the hero.
Right.
Of this now second Vanishing, and I kind of like the. I would say the original has the better ending, where he just loses because he's an idiot and, he drinks the poison coffee.
Right.
Whereas in the new one, it definitely feels more Americanized. We need a happy ending. Everyone goes home happy, But I did kind of like her performance as this, now she's in charge, Nancy Travis, where I like that she doesn't fall for the same shit that Keifer Sutherland does. Like the whole thing is like, if you want to find out what happens, you're going to drink this poison coffee, and then you'll find out exactly what happened to Sandra Bullock. And she gets the same offer. You want to find out what happened to Keifer? Drink this, or otherwise you'll never know. She goes, that's fine. And then just hits him over the head. I really appreciated that she's smarter than him and just like shows a lot more moxie.
Yeah, but who doesn't look in the fucking box for the gun before they take it on a trip? Get the fuck out of here.
People who don't own guns.
Like, at least look in that box and make sure it's loaded. Make sure you got some ammunition for it or some shit.
Loaded last time she checked.
Yeah, but like, poor planning on her part.
Yeah, I agree.
No, it's just, I felt like I needed more substance from certain characters here. Like, I felt like I got a lot of Nancy Travis's character. And I felt like actually her character probably had the biggest kind of arc where she at first is like, hey, forget about this lady. I'm with you now. You gotta be with me, or you gotta be, trying to find her, and you can't do both. And then, things are kind of put in front of her by design, where she calls his phone and he just changed the thing, and Jeff Bridges' voice is in the background, and she's like, oh shit, that's the dude. It kind of catapults the film in a certain direction. But like, I felt like, Rita Baker's character is the one that had the biggest arc, is because, she...
Nancy Travis.
No, the character Rita Baker.
Right.
She has that character has the biggest arc in this story, because like, she makes this kind of full circle moment of, hey, I'm gonna go through these emotions of, hey, I really and like, her motivations are very clear. She's very much in love with Keifer Sutherland's character, but she also recognizes that he can't be in all these places, right? Like, he's fixated on what happened to Sandra Bullock, but he also wants to kind of keep her close by, and she tells him, hey, you got to choose, and you haven't chosen me, so I'm out. But like, she's the one that's actually in love with him. She decides, hey, I'm gonna go try to find him. I'm ultimately gonna save him. I'm gonna make this decision, even though he's stuck on, this other woman. I'm going to make this decision to kind of put myself out there, and like, she at like 3/4 way of the film, she becomes the main character, and like, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that because I kind of got tired of like Keifer Sutherland being,
you don't like him. We
being a whiny baby, but
he is a bit of a whiny baby in this, yes.
But and like, what the fuck is wrong with him? So he types a children's story.
That was weird, wasn't it?
he starts to type this children's story, and then he leaves a note to himself. Oh, I went here in case I forget. Like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with Keifer Sutherland in this movie?
No, that's a plot convenience there. That's all.
But like, I also didn't understand, like, this is now the second
they had to add in, because
this is the second film in a row where we get the anagrams.
Oh, that is true. The
it's
anagrams.
Weird. It was, the coincidence. Like, but like, I didn't understand, like, Nancy Travis's characters
are vanished. I didn't know why she tried to anagram that shit out.
I didn't know. I didn't either. I didn't understand.
But actually, there's a point where he says he does anagram puzzles, and that's why she jumps to anagrams.
I missed that.
Where they're like, one of the first scenes to them together in the apartment. He's like, she's like, what are these anagrams? He's like, oh, they're puzzles, blah, blah, blah. And then that's why she ends up going there. But it's still, so all of this is new, because nobody comes to save the lead in the original. Like, she leaves him because he's obsessed, and that's it. She doesn't show up again. Nobody knows this guy's gone. And, he gets buried alive, and that's it for him. So all of this stuff with her is brand new.
Listen, I don't blame Keifer Sutherland for being obsessed with Sandra Bullock.
Right.
I don't blame him at all.
I agree. Have you seen The Net? I've seen The Net. We'll have to watch The Net sometime. Just do a month of old ass movies that get technology wrong.
I mean, come 2026, we can do Sandra Bullock month. But maybe one degree of separation will lead us to a Sandra Bullock film.
Yeah, I might be able to do that. I might be able to get us there.
No, I mean, so like I really enjoyed a younger Jeff Bridges here in this clearly psychotic role. I think he's got this weird bravado about him as an actor, and two, the character, where he can kind of embody that. Jeff Bridges as an actor already kind of has this weird cadence in some of his films, and he takes on roles where he's just kind of this oddball.
I fucking love Jeff Bridges.
I do too. I really enjoy a lot of the stuff he's done, and this being no different.
We got two legacy second generation actors here in Keifer and Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. I did I wanted more Jeff Bridges, more than anything else. And I'm glad like towards the end we did get more Jeff Bridges, but I could have done with a movie that's solely about Jeff Bridges. His character of Barney, and then Keifer just happens to be somebody he crosses paths with, or the fixation turns to Keifer Sutherland. But like a first person view from Jeff Bridges in a film, and this character Barney in a film, I think I would have enjoyed more than kind of him as a supporting piece. And I really don't know, like, was Keifer Sutherland top draw here? He had to have been, right?
If you look at the poster, no.
Well, right.
But I mean, at the time, let's see what Jeff and Co were up to. So this was 93.
I mean, Jeff Bridges is is the main face on the poster, and the poster is actually pretty cool. I do like the poster.
So
here.
A Few Good Men, Young Guns 2, Flatliners, Young Guns. So I mean, Keifer had done a lot. He's an established name in 93.
Yeah.
I fucking love Young Guns. The Fisher King, Fabulous Baker Boys. So they're both pretty well known.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess from the poster, you would assume Jeff Bridges is the main focal point here, but it's really Keifer and I don't know, man. I just at the end of the day, I felt like this movie, and as we talk about it, I calling it garbage was probably a little too harsh.
That was a bit extreme.
It's not my favorite, all right, but like talking it out,
We've seen a lot more garbage.
Yes, right. We have seen worse films, very much more worse films.
I think I wouldn't have responded as strongly if you came in with a more tame criticism than garbage. Like, had you been like, hey, this is fair to middling. It doesn't here are my problem. Okay, this is not garbage. Like, I mean, there's still good stuff here.
Yeah. And this film probably was a Canadian product, honestly, because the film takes place in Washington, but I bet you it was mainly shot in Canada.
Well, Vancouver is the cheaper version of Los Angeles.
Sure, right.
So,
and that's right over the border.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Do you have any interest in watching the remake?
I don't.
Or the original?
No. I mean, you've already told me the differences, and
largely the parts that are in there that are the same are like verbatim almost. Like the dialogue's very similar, just a few changes here or there. The names of the characters are different. And there's a few extra scenes around the killer's point of view. But largely it's the same story, except for the entire sequence at the end of the remake where the girlfriend comes back and saves the day.
Yeah.
The end of the movie is the guy in the casket lighting his match, realizing he's buried alive, and then it kind of pans back to the killer, with his family, just having a regular day, and then the credits roll.
Yeah, I probably would have. And that's the better ending. That's the better cinematic ending, I think. The Keifer Sutherland, like her, Rita Baker breaking into what's the guy's name? Jeff. Yeah, his name is Jeff. The casket, and then ripping open, he's like barely breathing, and then he comes to and saves her, and like that. You're right. That's the American ending. That's that's what people want. That's the better Hollywood ending, but the better film ending is Keifer Sutherland reaping his consequences of being dumb.
Man. If you have someone who's a known psychopath, and by the time he drinks it, he's got a pretty good idea that she's dead, right? Like,
right.
For one, it's been 3 years, and you're still going to. His obsession is so great that he gives in. It's about the dumbest thing anyone could do, and so the realistic ending is he'd be dead. So
right. And, this film, the last scene of this film, I was just like, the fuck? Is this a comedy?
I hate this last scene.
It's so
It is
dumb.
the worst. So
it's like, what the fuck?
We needed this. So the movie should have ended when they're hugging after killing the killer, right?
Right.
Roll credits. But they had to have this epilogue. So the whole thing is that he's this book writer, and they've been wanting his life story about him having this obsession with finding Sandra Bullock. Well, now after this second bout of tragedy, they're meeting with the publisher, and they tell the publisher the story, and he's like, hell yeah, let's buy the rights to this. And if they're just like, no thanks. Then why did you meet with him? Why did you waste this guy's time? And then like they're both like smiling and happy at each other. Both of them need therapy now. He needs it more than just about anyone. It's just a stupid ending. They should have had like one.
Well, then the waiter comes and asks them if they want coffee, and they're like,
we don't
drink that anymore.
And they knowingly laugh at one another.
It's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Oh my God, it was awful.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was awful.
It was top 5
That's why
worst
you think it's
endings
trash.
we've watched.
It's like
maybe
it left you with this, like if you eat a really good meal, but the last thing you eat is moldy garbage, then you're like, man, that meal sucked. So I understand if that was your reaction, because that last scene is horrible.
Yeah. Did not enjoy it.
We don't drink coffee anymore. It's not like this has been a hugely traumatizing thing, but what they've done is they've taken it as a bonding moment. Woohoo! Remember how good it was that I got buried alive and you got bludgeoned? Do you remember how good that was? Yes.
God. Anyways, Jeff, do you recommend this one?
No, this is trash. No, I don't really recommend it, but there's a place in my heart, nostalgia-wise, for the movie. Something I remember seeing in cinemas, revisiting it, having some memories come back. So, but I think in general, I prefer the original. I think it's a better made film, and it's made by the same guy. So, go figure.
Go figure. Yeah,
I'm betting that the studio interfered.
I'm sure.
betting if this guy had it up to him, he would have just made the same thing. But I think the studio's like, nope, we need a happy ending. No, we need this weird coffee joke at the end. And he's like, fuck me, man. I should have never made a movie in America. Go back to Switzerland or wherever the fuck.
Wherever the fuck. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm not going to recommend this, even though by the end of this episode, I've come more around to the film. There's too many things here that I wish I got more of and didn't get I didn't get less of and wanted less of. Like, it was just, there was weird motivations for certain characters that I wish were more fleshed out and were done differently. It's not terrible, right? But I'm not going to recommend it either.
What a surprise!
Yeah, surprise. Jeff, what are we watching next week?
Bitch, I don't know. I don't have a list up.
Oh, I got it. We are watching the Nick Cage. I think it's from 2005.
Right. The Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man.
Oh, this is another movie with a remake.
Yeah, it's from 2006.
I might have some homework.
Starring, I'm surprised you've never seen this. But starring Nicolas Cage. It's got a 3.8 on IMDb, which is ridiculous. This is an all-time great Nick Cage performance. The movie might end up being trash.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's good, right?
No, I mean his performance is all-time great.
It's gonna be fun.
You're gonna have a good time with this,
right? I'm probably gonna love it. I love trash, but
I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's a film where it's got like this weird place in my brain where all I can remember is Nick Cage kind of one-liner scenes from this film.
Yeah.
And it's just him. It's him being manic in the entire film.
Are we reviewing it now? Is that what we're doing?
Anyways, so join us next week as we're going to watch The Wicker Man from 2006, and Jeff's going to watch the original from 70-something.
Maybe. No promises. But
what we can promise...
There's a lot of nudity in the original, I think, so...
Ooh. Okay, tell me how it goes. Be sure to hit the subscribe button when it pops up so you don't miss any future content here on the podcast if you're watching on YouTube. And if you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, we're on Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, right here on YouTube. Give us a like, follow, and subscribe. We're at Movie Draft House. Jeff, where can they find you and your things?
You can find my other two podcasts, the other being Chronologically, where we are just in between seasons of Stephen King and moving into our season on, help me out, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
So we're about to start that new season, but we're also kind of filling in some gaps here. We got episodes coming out that cover the M. Night Shyamalan movie Trap, his daughter's movie The Watcher, and then Cando Lake. Those are coming up. So,
hey, The Watcher's pretty good. I really like that movie.
So look for that, and then fucking All Things Being Sequel will start up in the new year, where we take a look at the Leprechaun films. That's
Cool. Yeah, Jeff.
Yes.
Any last words?
Don't drink the coffee.
Okay.
I don't drink coffee anymore.